Stacy, it's me. Sorry it's taken me forever to send this video and the exercises. I'm going to email you or text message you the pictures of some of these exercises so that you have them. One of the things you want to start with is you want to get yourself a foam roller, something like this. Some of them are a bit different in terms of their intensity. Some are softer, some are harder. So you might want to start off with a medium one because as we're beginning, it might feel a little bit too intense if it's too hard. So the first exercise that I want you, or stretching I should say, is called self-myofascial release, or SMR. This will help release a little bit of the fascia in your calf muscles, which is possibly causing you to have your ankles pronate slightly. So the first one we're going to start with is going to be a cross-legged, and I'll try to do this laterally, and I'll see if that works. So you're going to take your legs, you're going to bring it onto the foam roller, and you're going to cross your legs over. This can be a little intense on the shoulders, on the hands, so if this doesn't feel comfortable, you can feel free just to let one leg bend and keep it on the floor. Otherwise, this is going to add a little bit more intensity, so this could feel a little uncomfortable at first. So you're going to press your hands into the floor, pull up slightly off the floor, and you're going to just start kind of massaging the calf muscle. If you have any parts that are really sticky and kind of feel uncomfortable, then just kind of let your body weight rest there. So let me do this from this view. Not sure if you can see me, but here, maybe this angle. And just kind of get into there. You're gonna feel possibly some intensity there, really normal. It's just your calf muscles maybe having some knots in them. The second one is going to be on the side. So I want you to stretch out the side of your calf muscle, which is probably tight, which is causing your ankles not to have that stability. So you want to keep this side of your body and try and release this muscle a little bit. So that's going to cause you to come onto the side here. Again, you can start, if you can see me, you can start with one leg on the floor, or you can come on and place both on the foam roller. You can't see me, but I'm gonna try and do this as best as I can and see if that works for you. And this is gonna feel really intense as you've got definitely more of your body weight on the leg. So just decide for yourself if you wanna kind of release one of the legs and kind of support that a little bit so that you feel like it's not too intense. The next one, you're gonna wanna stretch out your hamstrings and your glutes. So this is pretty simple and straightforward. You're gonna come onto the foam roller and just massage out this space. This might even feel really nice. And I want you also to bring that to your glutes, to your bum muscles, and just kind of stretch it out and come on seated onto the foam roller and just do maybe one glute. You can even kind of rock over to one side. It's a good way to kind of get into that space. And then shift over and make sure you do the other side. The next one is going to be your TFL. It's the really long muscle kind of in this area of your glute. We're going to take the foam roller and we're going to bring it so that we're kind of lying on our glute, and we're going to cross over our leg, and that's just going to give us some nice stability, and that's all I want you to do right now. And this is gonna feel really good, but it can feel a little intense. So if it's feeling intense, I often tell my clients, just let your body weight rest there. What's gonna happen about 30 to 40 seconds, your body's gonna say, hey, all right, let me release this muscle, and then you're good, you know. So you wanna do this, each of these exercises for about 40 seconds to 60 seconds. Any less, and it doesn't give the neuromuscular connection enough time to send out the message to say, hey, let's relax the muscle here. So just so you know, that's what you want to kind of do. You want to be doing these exercises on a daily basis. So really try to get the muscle less tight, and that's where we want to start with. The next exercise we're going to do to kind of stretch out your calf muscle could be one where you're just placing your hands up against the wall. I'll try and kind of replicate it, pretend I'm pressing it against the wall, and then just pressing your body down through the heel so you really get that nice stretch through the calf muscle. Another way to do that as well would be to place your tippy toes or the balls of your feet on a staircase and then let the heels drop down. It's gonna kind of, again, stretch that muscle. One other stretch I want you to do is an IT band stretch. So you're gonna lie down on the floor. You're gonna let one leg extend out and the opposite leg reach up. And we're just gonna cross it over our midline. And I like to use a strap here. And this is just going to release all that IT band and let that kind of nicely stretch out through the glutes. In terms of exercises, in terms of strengthening, you can get yourself maybe one of those hand weights, you know, ones that you would kind of maybe put around your ankles or your wrists, and you can place it at the top of your foot. And what I like to do to strengthen, we want to strengthen the inside of your leg. And you're going to take the strap and you're going to place it on your foot and you're just going to lift and then lower. And I know that seems kind of strange, but that's kind of what I want you to do. And that's going to help strengthen that part of your leg. Because what's happening is you're really tight here. These muscles are overworking, but these interior muscles are not working hard enough. So we want to strengthen and balance them out and stabilize through the ankle. So those are some exercises that would be great. I also encourage you to do some work like some lunges, some squats. Those are always great just to strengthen the glutes, strengthen the quads, get the hamstrings nice and engaged, you know, try to do those types of activities and make sure, of course, your form is always really top notch here, because anytime you kind of deviate from your form, it just tends to cause more issues with regards to stabilizing through the muscle, and also it tends to just kind of create more problems, and we want to try to avoid that. So we want to try to make sure that our form is really good whenever we do any sort of lunges or squats or anything like that. And I typically tell clients when they're, and I'm going to stand up here, that when they're doing a squat, you want to make sure your hip, your knee, your ankles are nicely aligned. I always tell clients to make sure that their hips are, their feet are hip distance apart. A lot of times women come out and they're like, my hips are this big. I'm like, no way, they're not. Bring them in a little bit. When you come down into your squat, you're gonna press down and then press back up. And I'll show you a lateral view here. So come down like you're coming into a chair. So you'll notice my knees are not here, but they're back here. I'm not coming all the way down to the floor, and then press back up. And when you come back up, turn those glutes on. So when you do a lunge, same idea. I often have clients that come and when they come into that lunge position, their knee tracks right over their toes. That's a big no-no when we do lunges. We really want to keep that knee joint nice and stable. This is a great strengthening exercise for you, both for stability on the ankle, knee, and quadriceps. So when you're in a lunge, you come down, you're going to always make sure that knee and your ankle are nicely aligned. So let me do it from the front. You'll see my knee, my ankle, my hip are nicely aligned. My back foot is reaching long. I'm nice and tall. And then I'll come back up, and you can just alternate sides. All right. I think that's it for now. Starting point, get that foam roller out. Do some of those stretches. Any sort of stretching is going to be really optimal for you. And then try to get some strengthening in there with those weights on the ankle, maybe not necessarily on the ankle, but more so that you can move the front foot to kind of activate the interior part of your legs. We really want to strengthen that part of your muscle to be able to further stabilize through the ankle, and try and offer a little bit less pronation there. And make sure you stretch the side part. The foam roller is really key. Let me know how that works. If it's not working for you, maybe it's just a function of you've got to relook at the way it's set up for you. Maybe, you know, just be careful for your upper body. Sometimes people tend to go into their shoulders and they're not really stable there. You got to make sure you're stable through your shoulder girdle, especially as you're letting a lot of your body weight kind of come onto the floor to stabilize you as you move your lower body. What else is there? There's definitely some work with tennis balls that we can do, but I think right now, given that you're just starting out, the best thing you can do is use the foam roller. It's going to be a little less invasive, a little less painful, And it'll give you enough feedback to know, okay, this is feeling okay. I need to work on maybe a little bit more work there, especially if you feel some pain. Pain and discomfort when you do SMR, self-myofascial release, is kind of normal. It's just allowing us some feedback to let us know that, hey, this muscle's tight, there's some knots there. The SMR process helps us inhibit the muscle and release it from any sort of tension that might be there. In terms of if there's any time that you feel tingling, sometimes people can go onto a nerve and that can feel really uncomfortable and that can cause some tingling. We want to stay away from that. So if you feel that's happening, move your leg, change positions, and don't let that stay on there. So just be aware that if there's any sort of tingling, any sharp pains, you shouldn't feel any of that when you're doing SMR. It should feel a little bit like, I feel like there's a knot there, but that's about it. What else? I will send you photos of this work. Pretty straightforward, so that you kind of know generally what it looks like. I know it's hard with the video, but hopefully you've got enough information here to start. And start from there. If you have any other questions, text me. Sorry it took so long. Life's been crazy, but I'm sure you understand that. And I hope to hear from you soon. Let me know how it goes. I'll be waiting to hear from you. Okay, bye. Say hi to the kiddos. Bye.